we've been posting a lot of, I don't want to say controversial, but we've been just posting more content lately, right?
Yeah.
And it's really, I was telling you this morning, Josh, it's really sparked a little bit of action in the comments section. We've been getting quite a few people that have been coming out of the woodworks, not necessarily agreeing or liking what we're doing. And most of them are positive-only trainers, or I should say positive-only owners, because frankly, I feel like most of the people that are into positive only are these very, very committed owners, you know?
Yep.
That don't necessarily own training companies, and not that they have to own a training company, but they've just like really drank the Kool-Aid and committed to that lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know?
100%. Yep.
So like we posted one yesterday, stopping dog reactivity with a pet corrector. Now, this was an old video that I posted on this was actually on my personal YouTube channel forever ago. Let me pull it up real quick here. It's so it's my number 4 viewed YouTube video on my personal YouTube channel. It's got 12,000 views on it on YouTube, and it blew up when I posted it. So it's a video of this pitty that I did one-on-one lessons with, and this pitty did a 4-session program with me, right? And very reactive dog. That was the primary thing they came for. This was at the time we still offered our leash reactivity / dream walk program. It was just a 4-session program.
Yeah.
And they signed up for it because that was their sole issue, obviously. And I believe this was session 2. This is after we had kind of just taught basic walking skills. Didn't really do much with distractions and stuff, but we were getting into actually addressing the reactivity. And I realized very early on with this dog that the dog had a hypersensitivity to like loud noises and things that may have startled it. So anytime we see a dog like that, typically speaking, a pet corrector, which is all it is a can of compressed air, obviously, that you spray, and it startles the dog out of things.
Yep.
Typically speaking, a pet corrector is going to be a very effective tool with the dog, right? And the reason for that is because if you look at, prong collars, e-collars, stuff like that, as opposed to tools like bonkers or pet correctors, a e-collar or a prong collar is using discomfort in order to stop behaviors, right? So unfortunately, there are some dogs out there that have a very, very high pain threshold, right? They can tolerate quite a bit of discomfort, especially in states where they're stimulated, right? In situations where they're overstimulated with things. So with some of those types of dogs, a pet corrector or a bonker, because they're not creating physical discomfort, they're simply startling the dog. If the dog is a little bit more kind of nervy, you could help snap them out of things, and you could help de-escalate arousal issues like 10x with them with some dogs, right? Now, some dogs, they don't give a shit about it at all, right? Some dogs, like you pet correct them and they laugh at it because they don't startle very easily. But for others, it works very effectively. So whatever. So this was a video where I utilized a pet corrector, and I explained a process in which I would have the dog, the second they engaged with the other dog, created forward movement towards the other dog, give a correction for it. And it took 3 corrections. First one, the dog went to go fully explode. Pet corrector totally snapped them out of it. Second video, they were significantly more de-escalated. They still made forward movement, though, and I corrected for it. And the third time, it was like hardly even forward movement, but it was just like the icing on the cake of just snapping that last little bit out of it. And I'll tell you, with this dog, literally that session and the following week at home of the owner implementing this same process, and the reactivity was literally gone. Right? Like, I mean, I'm talking completely gone. Like, no more issues with it. I think we actually only wound up doing 3 of those 4 sessions with the dog because the lady was like, we're good. Like I'm not having a problem anymore with this, right? So, obviously, that worked out fantastically. We posted a video of it because these are the types of things where, I kind of explained this to the lady from New York, right? Virtually, we could help people get a lot of the way there, right? And some of these concepts and some of these tricks and tips and tricks are all that people need, frankly, right? It's just something to help get them a little bit more control over things if they don't have the funds to be able to commit to training, whatever, and they're tried and true methods, right? Anything that we're posting is not if you do this long enough, the behavior will stop. Anything that we're posting is pretty much, this is how we did it, and this is the end result of it, right?
Yeah.
And this is why we're going to kind of look at some of these YouTube videos and discuss them, or TikTok videos and stuff like that, because a lot of what you'll see online of other trainers posting is they'll post the process as opposed to the actual like data of this is what works.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these general concepts, it's like, well, if you do this for long enough, right, and this A, B, C, or D variable, if you make those adjustments along the way based on how the dog's responding to it, eventually you'll get success. But there's absolutely no timeline as far as this is how you're going to get it.
Yeah.
And again, so in this video, last night we had somebody commenting on it that was like really giving me a hard time about it, basically saying, you know, that they didn't like that we were putting the dog in a situation that they were uncomfortable with and then punishing them for being uncomfortable, right? And here's the flawed logic of that, right? So by saying that, essentially what we're saying is that us taking our dog for a walk, because there is a potential that the dog will see another dog and start exploding and acting dangerously towards that other dog. If we punish the dog in that moment, it's our fault because we put the dog in an uncomfortable situation by trying to like give them enjoyment and take them for a walk.
Yeah.
Right? The logic is not there.
No,
right?
not at all.
So that kind of went, and it was this back and forth of, I was like going back and forth of like, you know, like, well, what defines us putting the dog in an uncomfortable situation? Is the dog being in an uncomfortable situation an excuse for them to act dangerously, et cetera, right? It's like kind of a back and forth conversation of like, and it ultimately just ended with the lady saying that her dog struggles with dog reactivity issues, and she doesn't want to punish the behavior because she thinks it will be unfair for the dog, but she's been struggling for who knows how long with this behavior and is currently working on trying to create a more positive association with the other dog. Likely because she read like a Karen Pryor book, or likely because she worked with a positive only trainer that told her that she'll make things worse if she does that, you know, and it just turned into this, okay, cool. Again, back to the conversation. You saw a process of how something may work over time that you've been working on for who knows how long, and you have no intention, or you have no idea of when it's actually going to solve your problem, right? Yes. That sounds so awful to me.
Terrible.
Right? To say that, you know, for indefinitely, anytime I go for a walk, I have to be on guard because I don't know when my dog may see another dog and explode.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to punish it because that would be unfair to the dog. But actually, we're both living this miserable life because we're so inhibited of the things that we could actually do.
Yeah.
Right? As opposed to whether you use it or not, right? We have a way where it showed start to finish how we eliminated it. Right? We didn't show you how this will eventually eliminate it.
Yeah.
We showed you how it eliminated the behavior. It was gone, right? Non-existent anymore. And at that point, again, once you stop that behavior, if you want to start to create a more positive association with things, you can.